Fine, big baby, I'll share.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Dog Pound. Today we're going to take a look at compensated pistols. I recently did a review on the Sig Sauer P365 Xmacro, and we had a chance to test out Sig's integrated compensator design. During that review, I talked a little bit about the Xmacro's compensator, how it felt more like a muzzle brake to me than an actual compensator. I didn't mean that it was a bad thing. The reason I said it was just simply because of the similarity that it has with a muzzle brake. A brake helps break down recoil. A brake also directs the sound in the direction the brake is ventilated. If you haven't noticed already, the Xmacro, if you watch that video, it's pretty loud. It's got a manageable recoil, and it's just a loud pistol. I mean, you'll see why in a minute. However, the cuts in the top of the slide sends the gas and the noise upward, and the shooter feels that blowback. Nothing wrong with it, as long as you know what to expect when you squeeze that trigger. I try to help make you aware of these things. There is no doubt that the Xmacro is a great gun, and it is well worth every penny paid for it, in my opinion. It is one of America's most popular handguns for concealed carry, so you know it's an awesome pistol. But we're focusing on compensators in this video. Now, I am not an expert on the subject, and you can find guys and gals here on YouTube that are much more knowledgeable on compensators than I am. I'm just testing these firearms and giving you guys my opinion on things in live time. I have shot enough in my lifetime to have learned a few things about firearms and the way they perform. That's my experience. So, I shoot them and report my findings to you. That's all I can do, and hopefully that helps you guys in some way. Now, before we move on, let's take a look at the specs on the Xmacro. Now that you've seen the specs on the Xmacro, let's take a look at the difference between the Sig Sauer's integrated compensator system and an actual compensator that attaches to the barrel, like the one I found on the FN509 CC Edge. Okay, here's the FN 509 CC edge, and as you can see, it has a compensator right there that attaches to the end of the barrel. The weapon is clear, of course, but that's their FN's compensator. Okay, now with the Sig Sauer, the integrated compensated system, it's on the slide. So you have the slide serrations on top, and that acts as a compensator. In all rhymes and reasons, it is a compensator, but to me, it's more like a muzzle brake. And your gases, of course, when you shoot the Xmacro, because the slide cuts are up here, they're going to come up to the top. They're going to come back and they're going to kind of blow up in your face a little bit. Not something that's horrible, but it's just to be expected. My job is to give you guys honest opinions, reviews on them. So, but that's the integrated system that Sig offers. They do very similar things, but they perform very differently. And what we're going to shoot both of them. And I want you guys to see why I said the Sig's compensator reminded me more of a muzzle brake. So now you see the difference between what I was referring to as a compensated barrel, like on the FN 509, compared to the Xmacro with the Sig. This means that if you live in a state where you cannot have a compensator due to the stupid threaded barrel law, this is your solution to that problem. This system is completely legal, and it makes competitive shooters who live in those states very happy. Let's take a look at the specs on the FN 509 CC Edge. Now that you've seen the difference between these two compensated pistols, let's do some shooting like they are over there when they're not qualifying. The police officers out here doing the bing bang and the boom boom rooms. So I'm going to join them. But let's go shoot these things, have some fun, and we'll try to see the differences, if they make a difference between the two with the compensated barrels, compensated pistols. So let's rock and roll, and we'll be back in a little bit with our final thoughts. Alright, so what we're going to do first, we'll take a few shots with the Sig Sauer P365 Xmacro, and we'll do it one-handed. See if what kind of muzzle flip that we get from this compensator. Okay, now we're going to do the same with the FN 509. All right, weapons clear. We're at about 12 yards where we're at right now, and that was one-handed on both. Next time around, we're going to do it with two hands. All right, so just want to make mention we are using 125 grain total polymer jacketed bullets from Minuteman Munitions. Weapons clear. Using the same ammunition, 125 grain TPJs from Minuteman Munitions and the 509. The Xmacro is a little more snappier. There's a significant difference in the weight, which is going to make a difference. So kind of like comparing apples to oranges. But I wanted to show you guys the difference between the compensators. So that's what the video is all about. All right, let's run a few more through the Xmacro, and then we'll go back to the kennels and take another look at everything, and kind of talk about these compensators and finish the video out. Both the pistols are phenomenal. So whatever you choose, that as far as you're slim and comfortable to carry, the Xmacro wins hands down, in my opinion. You know, the FN 509cc Edge is a phenomenal competition pistol. I mean, it's got your high-rise sights, your co-witness sights ready to rock and roll, so you can't go wrong. And FN is a great gun. They're not cheap. Probably twice the amount of money almost is what the Sig is. So you got to kind of play that role too, and make sure you check with your wife. So let's send these bad boys. Weapon is safe. This thing is phenomenal. I mean, seriously, you can't lose. All right, so now let's finish it out on the 509cc edge. Weapon is safe. Okay. I would say that the 509, like I said, it doesn't have as much muzzle rise to it. Heavier gun, different compensator. So let's head back to the kennels for final thoughts. Welcome back to the kennels, guys, for the final thoughts on today's video topic of compensated pistols. So both work very good. Both very good shooting pistols. Don't have any complaints on either single one of them. Big difference in the price tag. The FN is, like I said, your MSRP is somewhere between $1,500 and $1,600, depending on where you get them. Your Xmacro, you're going to be pushing between $700 and $800, I think it was, last time I checked on the MSRP of them. So you're looking at almost half the price. Concealed carry, you got a 1-inch slim handgun, and the FN is a much thicker, heavier gun. If you're carrying for any period of time, the Xmacro will be the one you'd want to go with. So what do you guys think? What's your opinions on compensated pistols? Do you own one? Have you shot one? Are you looking to buy one? If you got any questions or anything like that, feel free to please leave them in the comment section of the video, and I'll respond to your questions or comments, as I always do, quick, fast, and in a hurry. May you guys live as long as you want, never want as long as you live. Spend time with those you love and care about. Time spent with them is always time well spent. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate the holiday. From all of us here at the Dog Pound, be safe, shoot straight, shoot often. God bless. See y'all next time on the Dog Pound. Look at that bing bang. Phew. Boom. We gone.